Coffee on the counter, outline on the floor, sticky little notes say, girl, they want more. Laptop on the sofa, cables in and out, heart beating louder, then I hit record. On my mind, every time the red light shines, I'm talking like I'm talking to my best friend. Turn it up, leaning close, you can feel me through your headphones. We laugh, we cry, we do it all again. Like on my mind, yeah. You say you're in traffic, you say you feel stuck. Play me in your hallway while you clean up. Questions in my inbox, secrets in my DMs. I turn them into stories we both can live in. Like I'm talking to my best friend. Oh, my best. Turn it up, leaning close. You can feel me through your headphones. We laugh, we cry, we do it all again. Like on my mind. Tell me what you're scared of, I'll say it out louder. Turn your little whisper into something proud. Week after week, you're right here with me. We grow in the glow of the speakeasy. Like on my mind. Every time the red light shines, I'm talking like I'm talking to my best friend. My best. Turn it up, leaning close. You can feel me through your headphones. We laugh, we cry, we do it all again.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, is this mic on tonight? Hello, anybody out there? Hi, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. It's a great Sunday evening, a great time to chat, right? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's a great time to have a chat. Come on in. Welcome to episode 3. Is this mic on? I am your host, none other than Tracy L. Stills, the boss lady. We are excited. Hey guys, we are excited about tonight's episode. I began to talk about it a little bit on Friday, just a snippet to let you know what it was going to be about today, because I really felt this thing when I was thinking about it. So I said, you know what, that'll be a great episode 3. You can always run this tape back, but because we're live, we're just going to go ahead and keep rolling. You can catch it when you catch it on the rewind, right? And share it. Nevertheless, hey, I am so glad you are here. Lean in close. Come on, let's talk like we're talking to our best friend, right? It's just us. Ain't nobody else in the room. So let's talk about it. Listen, check this out. First of all, I just want to say hey to everybody out there. Hey to my husband. I'm sure he's listening. So hey to everybody out there. Kudos to you for tuning in. And you know what? Big ups to you just for simply still being here. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, simply just for still being here, because life has been lifing, and you see on the news so many things happening, and it's been really giving people a run for their money, right? Life is just lifing. And so big ups to you for being here and still holding on. It's one day at a time. One day at a time. You do it right today, maybe wrong tomorrow, get it right the next day. However it happens, let life happen, right? But what we don't do is we're not going to quit. We're going to let life happen, but we're not going to quit this thing called life. Because I simply believe that God has a whole lot more for us, right? I told you this is not a church broadcast, but I'm a church girl. So God will always be in the midst of it because he's who I am. I can't help it. I talk about it. I live him. I breathe him. So he's just who I am. However, this broadcast is live for millions to see, regardless of your background, your faith, your ethnic, your religion, your race. This crosses denominational barrier lines. It crosses racial barrier. This is just for us to talk. So whoever you are, come on in. I got you. We're going to talk tonight. So let's talk about this. I began talking about it on Friday night. And the topic that I was talking about was simply experiences. And I began to talk about why this was so important to me and how just I'm a definition girl. I love Webster. So I'm a definition girl. I'm always looking up, even though I understand what it means, I love the definition of words. So I'm always looking up definitions. And experience by definition generally refers to the knowledge, skill, or wisdom gained from a direct observation, participation, or living through events. Come on, that one right there, living through events, right? So experiences generally refer to the knowledge or skills and the wisdom gained from what you participated in, or a direct observation of, or things that happen to you, whether voluntary or involuntarily. Experiences or things that happened that was a life event, most undefinitely, unequivocally, I'm sure a life changing event in one way or the other. It was life changing. That's what experiences are. It also describes the conscious events that make up an individual or group's past, as well as the active process of encountering something. This is good tonight, y'all. This is good to me tonight. So, in experiences, deal with all of those things, whether in your past or something that is actively, that you're in the active process now of encountering something, but it's an experience. I know sometimes we use that word loosely a lot, especially in church. You know, we're talking about come have an experience with God. And it's simply gaining the wisdom of living through something that has occurred in your life. And I talked about it on Friday about how what made me think about this is that I had some bags in my hand, and it was I had like 4 bags in my hands, and it was I had a cup of water and my tumbler with my coffee, and I was walking to the door, and my coworker said, "Do you need some help with that?" And I said, "No, I got this. I have 4 kids." And instantly, isn't that amazing how experiences, you cannot think about them for a long time, and then one thing happens, and the memory from the experience come flooding back. Sometimes it makes you smile, sometimes it makes you cry, sometimes it just literally makes you sit in it for a minute like, wow. I have a lot of those sit in it moments. That's just like, wow, because you think about some things, and I thought about it as I was taking the bags um into my job, and I thought about how when my kids were younger, and I had 4 of them, and they were all small, and I was determined, like, you know how it is when your kids are busy, and your kids are small, and you live in a busy life, you're working, you're trying to do this, trying to do that. You don't want to make too many trips out to the car. The kids ain't old enough to help. So you like, we gonna do this one time. I'm not coming back and forth to this car. So you swoop everything up, even the kids, y'all come on, get out the car. I'm not making another trip. So you take everything in your hands. And that experience has caused me to feel like, I got this, I got this, I got this. Yep, I got it. Nope, I'm good. I've done this before. And so I was sitting in the car, and I was listening to my radio, and the song by Shirley Caesar came on. If you don't know, if you've never heard it, please go listen to it. Um, and the song talks about you're next in line for a miracle. But the beginning of the song starts out with her saying, um, and it's just to a piano, like just every now and then, and she just says, "Have you ever walked the floor all night long, wondering how you gonna pay your bills?" And then a still small voice says, "Be strong. Sometimes struggle is my will." And then she proceeds to say, "I'm never late. I'm always on time. Get ready for your miracle. You're next in line." When I tell you, I sat in the car and tears flooded my eyes. I, I know people was looking like, was she okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? Because I was crying, and I was crying an ugly cry. Why? Because the memory of an experience that I had, that I was able to relate to what she was saying. Because listen, there were times in my life when I literally was walking the floor, when you can relate to the experience, when you were literally wondering, how am I going to make this work? But the good thing about this is I've lived through it. I've gotten past it. I'm on the other side of it. So now what the experience for me does is it makes me recall how I felt in the moment and how I felt like maybe I'm not going to make it through this. So when I look back from then to now and from now to then, that's where the definition comes in, the knowledge or the wisdom gained from a life event that I happened. I know you got some. I know you can probably fill my comment section up right now with the experiences that you have had in this life. And the thing about experiences are some are thrown on us involuntarily. Some experiences we fall into. Why do you say that, Tracy? Well, I'll tell you why. Because as me growing up as a young teenage girl, I had some experiences that were not necessarily of my own doing, but nevertheless, they were my experiences through a life event. And I told you before on this podcast, this is where we talk. Like I'm leaning close because I'm talking like I'm talking to my best friend right now. And that's what we do here. We talk like we're talking to our best friend. So therefore, we share and we talk. Why? Because this is the place where we talk about our experiences and the trauma that shaped us and how we lived through it and how we've gotten through it. And we're here today. And some of us are actually still living through it now. We're experiencing it now. But what we understand is that we're making it through. We're not stuck here. This is not the end of our story. There's still a pen in the hand of God, and He's still writing. And so our experiences, although they could have been good, they could have been bad, and they could have been ugly, our experiences are still being written out in this story called My Life. So therefore, we can sit in this right now and we can talk about it and we can reminisce. And sometimes it'll make us cry, even right here on live podcast, broadcasting. It can make us cry, shed a little tear, and it can make us smile. In the loss of my mom, it's been 11 years, and most days I'm well, I'm fine. But there are some days when I can hear her say something and I'll start cracking up because I can literally hear her voice. The experience that I had with my mom for over 40 something years that she was my mom, the experiences and the things that she would say, I will sometimes just start cracking up because I'll be like, I know what my mom would say right now. I know I can hear her say it. So the experience brings back a memory of laughter and the wisdom gained from what she said. And then there are some times that I can hear a song and I can go right back to where I was when I heard the song and how we were laughing and playing as a family and how my mom was joyful and my dad was, the house was full of laughter, and how the experience of that, although while it was joyful, it can bring tears to my eyes and make me cry. Why? Because it's the experience that causes us to gain wisdom in this thing called life. And I know that I said this is not a church thing, but I have to tell you, that's what David did whenever he was fighting Goliath. We all know, most of us was in church, or we heard the story in Vacation Bible School about David and Goliath, but that's how he was able to gain the courage to do what he did and to defeat the thing that seemed so large in his life. Why? Because of the experiences that he had already had in the desert and in when he was taking care of the sheep. It's the experiences in our life that make us say, I want to do that again. I'm going to try this again. And the experiences in our life that make us say, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do that no more. Nope, that experience, the wisdom that I gained from that event makes me want to say, no, I'm good. I don't even need to do that no more. Why? Because experiences is what causes us to know our limit of what we can, can't, should, or should not do. When you learn from the experience, most of the time you don't have to repeat it. But some of us repeat an experience over and over again. Why? Because we ain't learned from that one. We had to test the waters again. But our experiences are what helps us to realize, first of all, like Whitney Houston said, I don't know if you know this song about Whitney Houston, but she wrote a song and she sang a song called I Didn't Know My Own Strength. If you know that song, just put it in the chat. Yes, I know that song. If you don't know that song, let me say it again. Whitney Houston's song, I Didn't Know My Own Strength. That song right there, he talks about how she fell down and she stumbled, but she did not crumble. She says, I got to know my own strength, and how we bend under the pressure sometimes, and how sometimes we come so close to breaking. And I'm going to tell you, you feel like you broke, but you didn't break. Why can I tell you that? I can tell you that because you're still here. So you didn't break. You just bent really hard, but you didn't break. You bent, and you may have gotten some cracks, but you didn't break. And so that song from Whitney Houston, I didn't know my own strength. That's in a nutshell what experiences will cause you to understand. I didn't know my own strength. When my husband was in prison and I was pregnant with my last child, I had 3 already, and they were from the age of 5, 4, and 1. And I was pregnant with the last one. I was just a couple of, yeah, you know that song, girl, listen, that song right there. When I was pregnant with my last one, when I tell you, you don't know your own strength until you experience some things. You can see somebody else go through it, and your first words will be, ooh, I don't know how they did that. I could never. And that's really what you think. But then when things come into your life, you get to learn, you get to find out that that experience caused me to know that I am stronger than what I ever thought I could be. I can do more than what I ever thought I can do. I survived what I thought was going to be the most difficult thing in my life. You survive it. And then you survive something else that you thought was the most difficult thing in your life, and you survive it. And then you go through something else that you think is the most difficult, right? That's called life. And you find out that through every experience that you made it through every, remember the definition, the knowledge or skill or wisdom gained from a direct observation or participation or living through an event, the things that you learn about you, first of all, nobody else, but the things that you learn about you in the course of going through an experience is something that can't be taught outside of the experience. You get me? The things that you learn about you. Why? Because in the midst of an experience, you learn about yourself things that couldn't even be taught to you, things that could not even have been told to you. You learn about you in the midst of an experience. What do you mean by that? I'm so glad you asked. Because when you go through some things, you learn, first of all, you learn the balance of your mentality. You learn the length and the depth and the height of your mental capacity to deal with and to go through and to survive, not just exist, but to survive and to thrive. Can I just stop right here and tell you, woman, man, whoever you are listening, you are the strongest individual. Why do I say that? I might not even know you personally, but because you're still here and I know you've had some experiences. I don't even have to know you, but I know you've lived through some things to the point where some people don't even know. I'm talking about crying in the car without nobody know you in the car crying, going to the bathroom, screaming. You know how you can scream one of those screams where the sound don't come out? If you've ever done that before, put it in the chat. Oh yeah, I've done that before. You know, one of those where you feel like you're going to explode from the pressure, but you can't scream because there's too many people in the house, but you got to get it out. So you just, I mean, you've lived through that and you're still here. That was an experience that maybe you thought was going to take you out or under, but it did not. You're still here, boo. And so that's why I say to you, girl, girlfriend, brother, you are the strongest person that you know. You probably never would have thought that you've been through some of the things that you've been through. Whoever does, right? Who thinks that they're going to experience some of the things in life that we've experienced? You don't think those things as you're growing up into adulthood, even into childhood, the things that we've experienced in childhood. You don't think you're going to experience those things, and yet you do, and you have, and you rely on the one thing that you know, which is the seed that's been planted, and you pray and you say, God, get me through this because I don't think I'm going to lose my mind. So God, and somehow you've made it through to the other side. But experiences, uh, um, now let's talk about the other side of the experience, because there are some experiences that have carved trauma in our lives. And some things can't be shouted out during a conference. Some things have to be worked through over a period of time, because some experiences have caused trauma that is to the point of PTSD, post traumatic stress syndrome. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be in the military for you to have PTSD. And that's one thing that we don't talk about a lot, especially in communities and in cultures. But baby, there are some people that experiences have caused them to live in this place of trauma. And if you're not careful, and if you don't work through the experience and what it has caused, it causes us to deviate and to get into different things. It causes us to search in different areas of things. Some people search for it in alcohol, some search for it in drugs, some search for it in promiscuity, and some search for it in cutting themselves and trying to relieve themselves from the trauma in the memory of the experiences that have been had. And so we have to work through these things called experience, because if you don't, it can take you under to a place of darkness. And we don't want to be there. We want to come to a place where we can look back at our experiences and understand and feel the feeling that we felt, however, not be trapped in the feelings that we felt. I was talking to my husband the other day, and we were just talking because he took a picture of me sleeping because I was away. I was in Texas, and we were on FaceTime like teenagers. We were like teenagers because I was in Texas and he was home for a couple of days until he can get back to me. And we FaceTime all night. We slept on the phone. How cute is that? I just love him. We literally slept on the phone like we were 16 and 18 again, and it felt so good. But we were sleeping on the phone, and so he took a picture of me, and I looked at it the next day when he sent it to me. Trauma. I didn't even realize that the experiences that I had in my life would cause me to when I first looked at the picture, the first thing I seen was, oh, I don't like that. Why? Because I told my husband I have a hard time looking at people sleep because I've lost so many people in my life. And so I don't like to look at people sleeping because it just reminds me of what I had to look at in the casket, or what I had to. That's trauma, guys. That's experiences that has resulted in trauma that has not been yet recognized or even dealt with. I just recognized it. I was like, oh my God. And this was just the other day that God allowed me to understand that the experience that I've gained from those things have caused a trauma that now has to be worked through. Why? Because losing my mom and my dad and my sister and my brother and my niece, that's a lot of loss. And so when you look at certain things and you have to, and the first thing you think about is, oh no, I can't look at that. That's an experience that needs to be worked through. I know you have some. You can raise your hand. It's okay. I know you have some. We all got some experiences that need to be worked through that we think are nothing, until they come to light and we realize, oh, that's something. That's an experience that I need to work through. But that's the one thing about life is that we all have that. There's nobody on the face of this earth who don't have an experience. That's one thing that we can relate to, sister to sister, brother to brother, mother to mother, father to son, mother to daughter, that we can all relate to is that we have experiences and they're all different. That's what makes us come together to be able to say, what you've been through, what have you been through? And that's how come I thank God for this podcast, because even from the time that I was younger, I always loved to hear people's stories. I'm a story person. I want to hear your story. Let's talk. I want to hear your story. Why? Because it inspires me. Because when you hear what people have been through and are going through and are living through, somehow it has a way of inspiring you to understand the strength of humanity. And everybody has a story, and that's how come I'm so glad that God allowed me to birth this podcast, because as we continue, you'll see the guests that I have on, and you'll be surprised who's going to be on here. We have a lifetime to do this, so I have a lifetime of guests that'll be appearing on here, but you'll be surprised to hear some of their stories and what shaped them, because some of the things, our experiences, are what shaped us to be who we are, and who we've become, and who we're fighting to not become, right? Well, that's a good one. Who we're fighting not to become. Our experiences have shaped us to be that. I've told you before, and some of you don't know me, so when I say this, some of you will be hearing it for the first time, but I'm not a social type of person. Like, I'm not, hey, how you doing? Yeah. I'm the type of person who, if you talk to me, I'll talk to you. If you don't talk to me, I'll be in a room full of people and I'll just sit there on my phone or whatever. But if you come and talk to me, girl, we can talk all night. I'm just not a social person. My husband, on the other hand, is just Mr. Family Reunion all the time, every day. And that's just who he is. That's because of how he was raised. He was raised in that type of environment. I was not necessarily raised in that type of environment. We didn't have big family reunions and gatherings. My mom went to go see her sisters and they played cards, and I was with my cousins and it was fun, but we didn't have all of those big things. And so I've never been a very social type of person. I'm kind, and sometimes people don't understand that. Why? Because of the experiences that shaped me to be who I am. And so sometimes you can be misunderstood and you're like, oh no, I'm not, I'm kind, but your face says something else. And your body language says something else, but it's because of the experiences that shaped us to be who and how we are. And even in that, we can't stay there. We have to evolve and we have to grow. And it's so funny because my husband, just today when we were at dinner, he says to me, I am so proud of you. You are you are growing, and I am so proud of you, because he sees me and I'm not. Confession, I just thought about this, show. I know you're like, wait, what? I just thought about this. So I'm the type of person who, my husband and I can be in Walmart and we'll see somebody and he'll want to say, oh, there goes so and so. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Or I'm trying to go down the other aisle because I don't want to talk. Not because I don't love you or because I don't like you. I just don't want to talk. If I don't have to talk, I don't want to. If you've ever done that, go ahead, raise your hand and say, yep, done that before. I'm just not a social person. And my husband is like, he want to sit in the aisle 3 at Walmart and talk for 7 minutes. And I'm thinking, I just want to go get my green beans and go home. I don't want to talk. So it's so funny because my husband just said to me today, he said, I am so proud of you. He said, you're growing. He said, you're branching out, and you're, she said, yep, that's me. He said, you're branching out and you're allowing yourself to become more friendly, right? I'm a kind person, but you're allowing yourself to be seen more friendly. And so, but it's the experiences in my life that has shaped me to feel guarded or like him. Your experiences may have shaped you to be more outgoing, and somebody's experiences shaped them to be more guarded. And so we have to understand that and give one another grace and understand, hey, we've all been through some things. We've all been through some life-changing events that has shaped us into the people that we are right now, or even have changed our attitudes or shaped us in some way that give us grace, give people grace. We live in this thing called life, which is full of experiences. And so we got to give each other some grace and understand that the past creeps into our present, but we want to stop it from controlling our future. Yes, our past has a way of creeping into our present, and we want to stop it from controlling our future. So we want to be able to gain hold of the experiences that cause us to shrink back and cause us to not fully thrive into the people that we should be and that we are, right? Because we some baddies. We are, but sometimes we allow our experiences. My mother, my dad was a wonderful dad. He died when I was 7. And my mom, the man that she met after that, because me and my sisters, there's 4 of us, we were used to ice cream and parks and laughing and music in the house and dancing. And before there was a karaoke machine, we was karaokeing, and that was my household when I grew up. That's what we knew. It was fun. My mom smiled all the time. It was just a wonderful life when I was young, up until the point when my dad died and things changed. That experience caused my family to shift. And so sometimes we don't understand that our parents, my God, okay, I'm going to say this without trying to get emotional. Sometimes we don't understand that our parents had some experiences that shaped them before they became our parents, even while they were our parents. And so sometimes they may not have made the best decision in their parenting of us because of the experiences that they've been through. But I tell you what, if my mom was alive today, I would hug her and give her the grace that she deserves, because I didn't realize, because she was just my mom. So I didn't realize that, oh yeah, mommy has some experiences. Wow. That was kind of deep, y'all. And so sometimes without understanding, we can fault them for the things in our lives until God allows us to realize, hey, just like you're a mom and you've had experiences and you're raising your kids, you've got to give your parents that same grace, mom and dad, that same grace, because our parents were not always our parents. They were once young people who've experienced some things. And to be truthful, they had it kind of worse than we did, because they grew up in a time when you couldn't talk about things, when you couldn't express things, when you had to just deal with things. And that's when that sweeping under the carpet experience came in. That was not good for nobody. Excuse me. Is this mic on? Did y'all hear what I said? Sweeping it under the carpet experiences, they are not good for nobody. Why? Because if you don't trip over them, the generation coming behind you is going to trip over that thing under the rug. So let's deal with our experiences. This is good talking tonight, y'all. But our experiences are what shape us. And so we've had some great experiences in our childhood. We had some hard experiences because the man that my mom married next turned out to be an abusive man. We've never known anything about domestic violence and domestic abuse and fighting and carrying on and throwing stuff and fighting and we never knew anything about that. We had the white picket fence, literally white picket fence, dogs, German Shepherd sitting on the back porch kind of childhood. We didn't know nothing about all that violent stuff. However, we were introduced to it through the next man that my mom met. Right? So that shaped our next experiences that we didn't ask for. You got some experiences that you did not ask for. Nevertheless, there are experiences that were put on you that you have now in your past learn how to navigate through so that you can learn from the experiences. And so one thing that we've gained from that experience, because everybody, my mom had 4 daughters, no sons. My dad had a son, so he's my brother. He passed away since, but my mom had 4 daughters. And so these 4 girls that she had to learn to take on a life of fighting this man with her and for her. You talk about gaining some life experiences that you didn't ask for, that causes some areas that you have to deal with, right? And we all have them. We all got them. As like I said before, you can fill my comment section up to the point where there will be no more room if you begin to talk about your experiences. I know I'm right. But those are some experiences that we didn't ask for. So therefore, all 4 daughters, girls, we had to learn to take on some things that were not necessarily meant for our lives, but we had to learn to take them on because they were introduced to us through her experiences. They were introduced and now they become our experience. So as parents, our experiences, if we're not careful, we introduce them to our kids and they become their experiences, some good and some bad, and they become our children's experiences. Mm, mm, mm. So we've taken on some experiences from that, and our lives shaped differently. Each daughter, my mom had 4 girls, and each daughter, our lives took on something different from that experience. We lived it for about 5-6 years. We had to live that. We had to learn how to fight this man and sleep with things under our bed. So when she called our name in the middle of the night, if they fighting, we pull out what's from under our bed and we get to fight. And you hear me? That was our experience as young girls. And each one of us took something from it. My one sister took something from it and it caused her life to go in a direction. My other sister took something from it, it caused her life to go in a direction. I took something from it, it caused my life to go in a direction. I'll let them talk about their own experiences, right? I'm not going to tell nobody else's story because they'll be on, like I told you, they'll tell their story and what they gained from different experiences in their lives. But we took on different experiences from that. My baby sister died when she was 13, so I don't know what experiences she would have taken on from those things. And so, but those experiences shaped us, and it took us on a path that was a dark path. That's what experiences does sometimes, the bad ones. It takes you on a path, and it takes you for a ride. And you know how you're a kid and you swinging on a swing? You know what I mean? And you just swinging on the swing and um and then somebody behind you come and they push you. And did y'all used to do that when y'all was little and somebody come and they push you and then they push you and run under the swing? What was that called? Oh my gosh. If you remember what that was called, put it in the comments. I forget. Was it underduck or something like put that in the comment if you remember, because I know y'all old enough to remember when you were swinging on the swing and somebody come and they push you and they swing you so high and then they run under the swing so that you can go ahead and go high. Life experiences sometimes feels like that. But then there comes a day when you're swinging on the swing and you get the courage, because I know y'all done this too. When you swinging on the swing and you swinging and it's high and you get that rhythm and it's going high and it's going higher and higher, and then you're dared to jump off and you dare and you jump off and you land on your feet and you survive that experience. That's where we at when we come out on the other side of the experiences that we've been through. And so as we go through life and we remember the experiences and we smile a little bit or we cry a little bit or we sit in it and just say, wow. And you think about how you survived and how you made it through. And then you think about it and you got to go back and you gotta apologize to some people. Yeah, that's what experiences will cause you to do. It'll even cause you to apologize to your kids. Excuse me. Hello. Are you out there? Yes. It'll cause you to go back and apologize to your kids once you realize that some of the experiences that you've took on in your life, that you've incorporated your kids into that, right? And so therefore now they can become my very good friend, Tammy J. Harrison. We were at a conference and she spoke on the panel about that very subject. When I tell you it was powerful, that thing was powerful. She talked about how she went back and apologized to her kids and how after that they were able to grow together and make new experiences, right? Because you have the ability to cause those experiences from the past to not cripple you and paralyze you and not creep into your present to the point where it shapes you and paralyzes you. We have that ability to go back. I know there's no time machine, but we have the ability to go back and to rename some of those experiences. That was good. We have the ability to go back and rename some of those experiences where the name used to be blackout. Now we rename that thing to our new stepping stone, our new place of growth. We have the ability to go back and rename some experiences. Yes, we do. I don't care how many years that it's taken up of your life. We can go back and rename that experience, that it will not be the blackout, but that it'll be the place where we stood and we grew from that place. It used to be the blackout experience. It used to be the experience that had me walking the streets and sleeping in the gutter and doing, that's what it used to be. We went back and renamed that. It used to be the experience that claimed my kids and I lost custody of this and I lost this and I lost that. That's what it used to be. But we have the ability to not sit there and let it paralyze us. Let's go rename some of those experiences. Let's go rename some of them. So therefore, we're not crippled by them. And when we think about them, it won't come from a place of trauma. We'll think about it from a place of victory, saying, wow, I never thought that I would. And not only never thought that I would make it through it, but I never thought that I would smile about that. Smile about it. And a bad experience you smiled about, yeah, I'm smiling about it. Not because it felt good, not even because the decisions I made and it was good, but I'm smiling about it now because I realize that I lived through it, I made it through it, I gained some wisdom from it that I can pass on to the next generation. I can help somebody now through the experience that I've had. You think you might not have nothing to say? I want to tell you right now, and yes, this is one of those church saying, the church girls coming out now. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. You think you ain't got nothing to say? You think you ain't got nothing to share with nobody? You think what you've been through don't matter? What you've been through, it ain't all that. It ain't. You got 10 girls, 10 women sitting around you right now that need to gain the wisdom from the wisdom that you gained from your experience. That's right. Your experiences that you lived through, that you survived through, that you made it through, that you cried through, that you smiled through, that you had joy through, that you had pain through, all of those experiences, you can help somebody in their life. Oh, yes, you can. And oh, yes, you should. Without shame and without guilt. You can help somebody through every experience that you've lived through. Because we got young people around it, and not only young people, y'all, because we say that a lot. We got some older people, middle-aged people that are living in some paralyzing situations because of the experiences that they've been through generationally back. And they were born at a time when they never was told that it's okay. It's okay. They were not told that it's okay. And they're still living in a place of traumatic paralyzation mentally, emotionally, which has caused a lot of physical ailments because they were not told that it's okay. It's okay that that didn't work. It's okay that you did that. It's okay. What happened, happened. If the milk is spilled, the milk is spilled. You can't do anything about it. There's some things that we wish that we can go back and change. Raise your hand if that's you. There's some things that we wish we can go back and change. I wish I can go back 15 years and not do one of the things that I've done. I wish I can go back 25 years and make that decision different, but you can't. And you don't want to stay there because that's called a place of regret. And there's a whole lot that comes under the umbrella of regret. It carries a lot of things with it. It's never just one thing. Guilt never comes by itself. It always brings something else like shame and worthlessness and hopelessness. Regret never comes by itself. So if you stay in regret, it always brings other things along with it. That's how come it's not good to live in a place of regret. Even if you did mess up, even if it caused you to lose some things along the way, because of a decision that you made, you cannot live in regret from the experience. Why? Because living in regret will never allow you to move forward. It won't. It just won't. It's not meant to. Living in regret will always cause you to step back. Even when you think you're making progress, if you don't deal with the regret and come to a resolution of it happened and it was my fault. I did that thing. I messed up. I gained experience from that. And let that be what it is. If you don't come to that resolution, what will happen is regret will allow you to take 2 steps forward, but it's going to pull you like 7 steps backwards. Why? Because it'll choke out the progress that you make. That's why you got to deal with regret. From the experiences, you got to deal with the regret. From the decisions, you got to deal with the regret. You got to deal with it, so that it does not choke out the progress that you're trying to make. Experiences, we all got them. You know that song, Friends. How many of us have, you know that song, Experiences. How many of us, we all got them. We all got them. And what we do with them, if we allowed our experiences to shape us in a way of putting us on a path of moving forward, even with tears flowing from our eyes. But if we allow our experiences to carve out the path for us, that here goes the church girl. I told y'all, listen, I am who I am. I'm a first lady. I'm a district missionary. I'm saved. But God, Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans and the thought that I have toward you. Plans to prosper you and to give you a future hope and an expected end. And you can hear that and get excited about it and still not embrace it and accept it if you don't come to terms with the experiences that you have had and understand that every experience in your life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, every experience is meant to bring you to who you are today. I would not have this podcast if I had not allowed my experiences instead of causing them to keep me in a place of guilt and shame and regret and hiding, I would not have this podcast had I not come to a resolute with my experiences and to say, yep, I did it. Yep, I messed up. Yep, that was a bad decision. Or, yep, that was all good. All of it brought me to the place that I am today. All of your experiences will bring you to the place where you need to be. I don't know what you need to give birth to. I don't know what it is. I don't know what your dream is. I don't know what your passion is. I don't know what that thing is that makes you say, wow, I sure would love to do such and such. You can do it. Somebody put in the comments, you can do it. Like it's the only thing that separates somebody from living their dream to somebody from not fulfilling their dream is you not deciding to do it. So I've been on here for 50 minutes and this conversation has been good. I know some people might say, she says she doesn't like to talk. She's not social. And I'm not person to person. I'm not. If I'm in a crowd, I'm not. It took me a long time to sit at a table with people and to join a conversation without feeling like what I said stupid or it doesn't matter. It took me a long time to get to that place of not allowing the experiences that I had to keep me in a place of feeling like I don't have anything to contribute. And so the place that I am in today is a place of being able to say, I decided to do it. Might not be perfect, might not be as good as somebody else's, maybe smaller, it may be bigger. There's no comparison. I'm not in competition with nobody except myself. And what is that competition? To keep challenging myself to do it better than I did the day before. We ain't in competition with nobody except ourselves. And so I am encouraging you to just do what it is that you think you can't do, right? Do what it is that you've always wanted to do and thought that you missed the opportunity to do it. As long as you got breath, you got opportunity. Step out, launch out. I promise you there'll be somebody there to help you. I did not know who would help me birth this podcast. And then God sent a Kathleen Watkins along. I never knew that it could be as good as it is. I did not know. And like I was saying, I know you think that I said I'm not social, but when you're walking in your passion and you're doing something that God has given you to do and that's just inside of you, it comes so easy. I love doing this. If I could have my own talk show on television, your girl would be there because I love doing this. I love encouraging you. I love hearing the stories. I love for people to share. Because when you share, it inspires the world. So keep sharing your story. Keep talking about your experiences as we live through them. Keep talking about them. You made it through. You could talk about it. You made it through it. You can talk about it. I'm going to say it again. You made it through it. And as hurtful as it is, you made it through it. You made it out and you've become what they probably thought you would never become in the midst of it. Mm. Yes, right there. You become what nobody thought you would become in the midst of making it through your experiences. So for the experiences that make us laugh and the experiences that bring a smile to our face when we remember them, and for the experiences that causes sorrow to our hearts and a sadness to our eyes. Sometimes experiences can leak out of our eyes, right, with tears. But for all of those things, we're here. We made it. And not only did we make it, we're making it. And not only are we making it, we're going to continue to make it. And it's going to be better and better. And I'm about to use a word that's not even good English. It's going to be gooder and gooder. So that's my time for today. God bless you all. I am so thankful for you who joined. I'm thankful for you guys who are going to be watching. Play it back, share it. Let's talk about our experiences. Somebody else will get this and understand that it's okay, right? Somebody else will hear this and know that it is okay and it's going to be all right. If you put that in the comments, somebody will read it. It's going to be all right. It don't feel like it, but it's going to be all right. You got people out here. You know how they say in the movie, I got peoples. You got people out here who are willing to link up with you and help you, that you can walk through these experiences and come out victorious on the other side of them. And so until the next time, which will be the last Saturday of next month, I do believe that is the 25th. Let me see. Let me look at my calendar. I got a calendar, you guys. I got a schedule that I got to keep. Who she thinks she is, right? But so let's do it for the 24th of July. Mark your calendars. July 24th, that's a Friday night. July 24th, that's a Friday night because I have an engagement on that Saturday. So July 24th, I will be having more flyers out concerning it as the day gets closer. But let's meet, let's talk. I'll have a special guest on. It'll be my very first special guest that's outside of my family that I'm inviting on to come chit chat with us. So until then, I look forward to, because even after today, we're going to have more experiences. Y'all know that, right? For every day that we live, for every moment, we're going to gain a new experience. So for all the experiences that we have and will gain, and from this point on, may they shape you, even if it's hard. May they bring out the very best in you. Even if you cry, may it bring you to a place of bearing down and giving birth to something that you had inside of you all this time. So until the next time, I'm going to turn this mic off and I'll see you on the 24th of July. God bless you all.